terrific performance. I think that it's been instrumental in making this journey of the GST a huge success. As I said, all these things are very difficult to implement, but the system has shown an ability to respond, and it's continually working in order to improve things. And I think we're yet to see all the benefits of this.
So what about the tax, the revenue collections that have come in so far? They are quite subdued over the last few months. They are below the comfort level, as discussed earlier, would be anything above 90,000 odd crores. How do you see that in terms of tax collections, impact on GDP, and when do you think tax buoyancy will come back?
See, I think in the survey that we calculated, we did an analysis of this. I think in that we showed that a collection of something like 86,000 crores, which is what we're doing now, represented a really quite a decent performance, given how what an enormous thing it was, and also, given whatever GDP growth was, we calculated that something like 86,000 crores was not a bad outcome given the circumstances. I think that, as I mentioned as well, there's going to be enormous scope for actually increasing tax buoyancy, because we're only beginning to start all the benefits from matching, the e-way bill, further simplification, so on. So I expect this, the GST to be a highly buoyant source of revenue over the medium term.
So what about the rates? The rate rationalization, especially on the 28% tax bracket, already some rationalization has happened, but still going by what you had proposed earlier, you wanted only a few sin goods to be part of that 28% bracket, but 28% bracket still is quite large from the items that you had proposed.
Yeah, see, I think that, again, as I said, as you know, I wanted a simpler structure, especially the 28%. But over the last few months, we've made a lot of progress in paring down the number of items, and this is going to be an ongoing process. And the GST Council will continue deliberating on this. And I think once, as the finance minister has said, once we are, confident about the revenue stabilizing, I think we will be in a position to make many more of these bolder policy decisions.
What about real estate and petroleum, sir? Real estate and petroleum are two key issues.
I think I would say power, real estate, petroleum, all over time, I think will have to be discussed, and I'm hopeful that this will happen over the next few years.
So you said that GST data could be possibly used for GDP and employment data. So could you elaborate how this would be used and how helpful would this be going?
No, I really think that the GST data, I'm throwing out this idea. I think that if you look at the GDP data in India today, we do it from the supply side. But most countries in the world actually estimate a GDP from the demand side. But I think with this GST data and the GSTN data, perhaps for the first time, we may be able to produce GDP data from the demand side and on a kind of high frequency basis, quarterly basis. And this is the other thing, we can then use this data also to produce much better estimates of state level GDP, because the GST data are such that you can actually locate where the activity is taking place. So I think the scope for doing this is quite enormous, and I'm very excited about this prospect.
So the e-way bill kicking in from 1st of April, by how much do you see the tax revenues?
I can't give you a number on that. So thank you very much, and thank you.